A podcast hosted by two white comedians. A stereotype about the blandest ingredients that childhoods didn't prepare them for life. Sexual tension you can cut with a knife. Podcast. Two white comedians. Podcast. Two white comedians.
Consider yourself a summer boy, Casey?
Ask the question again while we're on the air.
You said we were.
I said I'm going to start the recording.
And then you said now, and then I started talking after you said now.
I think you said now.
Did I say
There's no way we could possibly figure this out.
Check the tape. Summertime. It's summertime. Summer.
It's not officially summertime. Maybe when this comes out.
It will be when day after, I think.
Okay.
20th. The 20th. I had to check.
Isn't it the 21st?
I just checked. It said the 20th.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the 20th. I don't know. I thought it was always the 21st, but yeah, I have a June birthday, but not a summer birthday, and people confuse those things.
June 20th
is the first day of summer.
That's what it says.
Okay.
Well, hold on. This says.
Or does it say the last day of spring?
Tell me what this says. Tell me what this says. Why is it giving? It says the 20th through the 22nd.
Yeah, I would. To me, this means that the 20th is. Well, this is interesting, though. The first day of summer in 2025, also known as the summer solstice, will be on Friday, June 20th at 10:42 p.m. So that's a day that is at this time. To me, that maybe points us to the 21st. But listen, I'm in a good mood today.
Ooh.
We're not going to argue. I don't know why I'm in a good mood. I got no reason.
Ooh, it's that summertime's rolling in. Would you? So to answer the question that I asked apparently before we started recording, would you?
You're
Casey,
in a good mood too.
I'm in a good mood.
I want to ruin it. I want to ruin this mood now.
Would you consider yourself a summer boy?
You know, my whole life,
mm-hmm.
apart from the fact that I played baseball all summer, I would have told you no.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's not. I don't have a good reason outside of like I'm allergic to grass pollen. It's hot in the summer. I don't really like hot.
Gosh.
Now as an adult, I appreciate the summer for a lot of things. The long days are great. Meant nothing to me when I was younger.
Right.
Especially, by the way, when I was in my early 20s, I was working nights anyway. So it was like, sunset happened while I was
like
at 10:30 p.m. Who gives a shit? I'm in a factory.
Right.
It's never sunny in a factory.
Or always sunny in a factory.
Oh, this guy. I'm in a bad mood now. So, but yeah, as an adult, it's also, not to derail completely, but I never understood paradise vacations, like relaxing vacations, like going to Hawaii, chilling on the beach the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Never understood that. I always wanted a destination. Let's go explore. Let's find some food. Let's find some drink. Let's walk around a city. Let's experience culture. And now I'm like, can everyone just let me fucking sleep?
Gotcha. Yeah, I will say I am a summertime boy. Do you remember riding your bike or running as a kid, like on pavement, and then the transition into grass, where it would just like it'd be so much more humid and just would it wear you out?
You'd feel it.
It's like you're running in a sand trap.
Yeah, I do think I have a distinct feeling of that on a bike, where like the wind changes underneath you.
Yeah. Devastating.
I will say, this is one of my topics for today is, so my daughter's finishing kindergarten. Her last day is Friday.
Ooh, did they do a graduation for that?
They do some stuff. I'm not against it, by the way. I'm not against it. People get real mad about this. My in-laws, when she graduated preschool, we invited them to graduation. They're like, they do graduation forever. It's like, she's fucking, listen.
That's a pretty big. I'm a preschool dropout.
Oh, that shows.
Which really set the tone for the rest of my schooling. Actually,
you never improved your. Oh, you know what? I need to plug this thing in so it doesn't die while we're recording. That would be the most upsetting. So anyway, what I've discovered is there's so many things as a kid that you love that as an adult you dread. I think the most distinct of them in our region is snowy weather, right? As a kid, you're like, this is a snow day, this is so great. And as an adult, you're like, it's going to be hard to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
It's, everything is going to be difficult and, potentially treacherous. What I didn't know is I thought adults were like stoked about summer break, and now I have a kid that's about to have her first summer break. I'm talking to all these parents, kindergarten parents whose parents are about their kids are about to have their first summer break, and we're all like, "What the fuck are we gonna do?" We don't. I mean, luckily my wife is off for the summer, so like it's not as difficult for me. But it's like she also doesn't want to spend her entire time off, basically being a teacher to our daughter. She'd like a little bit of a break. And historically what we've had is we've paid for daycare, so that's available to us, so she could like supplement her sanity with this daycare. And now you're like, everyone's like, you going to camp? I don't know what camps are you in a camp. We're all talking about camps. My daughter's in 2 camps. She's in a soccer camp and a dance camp, and she's gonna maybe be in other camps, and like anything to get these kids away from you, it turns out.
Are those going like same time, just different parts of the day, or is it like one and then the
one
other?
is a week long and the other one's a week long, separate weeks.
Oh, gotcha.
And then there's some kids that are going to like the whole summer, they're going to camp. But you really like, I think about this all the time because it's, you know, I'm lucky that I had kids when I did, because I've had to like go pick my kid up from school because she's sick, and it's like, well, if I was working in an office,
yeah,
that would be incredibly inconvenient. There's been times where she's been sick for like 3-4 straight days. She stays home for 3-4 straight days, and we just deal with it. As opposed to like if I worked in an office, one of us just loses our job because we're, you know, especially when in the COVID period where one of you gets COVID, and it's like we're fucking.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I've talked about this on the pod, but it's like, to think about it now, my mom as an adult having to deal with this, especially as a single mother. I was sick. I was sick fairly often as a kid, but I would do everything I could to get out of school.
Sure.
So like there were years where every day I was like in the nurse's office, and then when I figured out that you don't have to have a temperature to be sick, I would really milk that, and I'd be like haggling with the nurses. Like, you don't actually.
You're working them like a referee.
Yeah, but like the amount of times she had to come home from like school or work to come get me.
Yeah,
it's real nuisance.
It's crazy. I will say, like, once you have a kid, and you'll have this experience, I suspect also, you start to just be in awe of anyone that can be like a true single parent. And being a single parent, like where you split custody, is, I'm sure, very difficult in its own way. But to where it's like, I was just thinking about this yesterday. Like, I can go, hey, I got to go to the store. The kids are going to stay with you.
Right.
And if you didn't have that, you're like, okay, I got to load 2 kids into the car so I can buy a goddamn thing of milk. It's now buying a half gallon of milk. If I go, it's 7 minutes there and back, paid and everything.
Yeah.
If you have to load the kids in, it's like 45 minutes at minimum, because so much time to get them ready. Then load them in, make sure they've all pissed, make sure no one's got shit in their diper, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Including me. I don't want shit in my diaper either.
Nobody wants shit in their diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a summer guy. What do you think about tank tops? What's your stance on a tank top?
Man, I've discovered, and you will be surprised that this has not manifested in any improved behavior. I've got body image issues. I've discovered as an adult.
Okay, I can relate to this, especially in reference to tank tops.
There's never been part of me that's like, I'm not muscular enough. Not that I'm like overly muscular, but I was always like reasonably, but I was like, I should have a 6-pack. I'm an athlete. And it's like really hard to get a 6-pack, right? Yeah. And now I'm very obviously not close to that. It's not, but also like, I remember I had like back acne. And I'd be like, I don't want to be shirtless. I got back acne. Or whatever, like arm pimples or something like that when you're going through puberty. And I'd be like, well, I can't wear a tank top because that's off the table.
Right.
Same with, so that I've worn tank tops as an adult maybe like 3 times ever. And I will never say, it's never like a bad experience, but now I'm like, also, by the way, I'm so hairy. Like I have like a Greek man's shoulders. You know what I mean?
That's funny. I never wore tank tops as a kid. I've always been a skinny person. I was like rail thin as a kid. And I was always afraid to wear tank tops because I was like, well, my arms are so small. As though people were seeing me in a t-shirt, like, I bet his arms are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, nobody, and also nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody's
Yeah.
paying attention to you.
Well, especially, how old did you say you were?
I mean, this was all through school.
Yeah, so nobody's
summertime.
like, oh, that 10-year-old, he needs to get in the gym.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Oh, he's a
Yeah.
skinny 10-year-old? What a fucking loser.
Yeah, I mean, I was always worried about like getting hassled by my peers about, especially like the kids that were in sports and
Sure.
stuff, the athletes and things like that. But it was like, yeah, like the T-shirt wasn't hiding anything.
Right.
I don't know why it made me feel better, but as an adult, what I came to the realization that I am irrelevant as far like nobody's paying attention to me.
How liberating is that?
It's wonderful, but I've been the past, I would say, maybe 5 years. I've been wearing tank tops during the summer.
Okay.
Oh, daddy! Oh, daddy! You get the breeze.
The breeze is nice.
You don't think about how much warmer you are just having your shoulders covered. You expose the shouldies. Whew.
Well, you get a little cross breeze under the
Cross
tits.
breeze
Yeah.
across the nip naps,
Man.
daddy.
Should we start selling tank tops?
It's
unseasoned tank tops.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I wonder, maybe I do bust out a tank top. The other thing is, and this is like, I don't even know if people necessarily. I've had like my family has moles, like not like on our skin, not in our yard, and I never thought about this until I went to a dermatologist and had like last year I went to a dermatologist. Maybe it was even this year. I went to a dermatologist and had them all like had skin cancer. I don't know. By the way, this is like maybe I don't think I've ever actually been public about it. So maybe we'll I don't know what do I do, bleep it out. But it's we'll say I have a if I decide to bleep it out, I have a family history of skin cancer.
Gotcha.
And so I got a bunch of moles taken off to be examined, and I was like, God damn, that's a lot of them. Like, and I never had thought about it, but it's like, yeah, I got like one in my armpit. But like again, it's like I'm expecting myself to be like the image of perfection. Like I can't have a goddamn armpit mole.
Right.
Like anyone gave a shit. Like and as though I have a joke about it right now, but like as if my wife is gonna be like, oh, disgusting. He's got an armpit mole. I see that arm. I mean, also my wife sees me fully naked.
Right.
It's not like she's getting a pleasant
The way that
experience.
tank top
I cover up
frames
that
that
armpit mole,
armpit
but I mean
mole.
the fat ass belly and tits on top of me. That's yeah. So. Yeah, I do think that's stuff where you like, not to be a body positivity podcast. I'm not trying to be that at all. But like, there is a thing that specifically not even just body related that you said that I agree with a lot, which is when you start to realize how little everyone else is thinking about you in any way for any reason is so liberating to your life.
Yes.
And then the worst part is when you start to really feel comfortable in that, and then someone just really snipes you with the exact thing you're insecure about.
Yeah.
It's like I played baseball, and I remember I was like finally comfortable as an infielder. I played infield most of the time. Finally got comfortable. I'm gonna stay down on top of every ball and I'll let it hit off my chest, hit off my legs. I'll stay in front of every ball. It's really unlikely that a ball is gonna like pop up and hit me in the face.
Yeah.
And then I played a game at Illahee Junior High. And what they do for baseball fields, to go through this as quickly as possible, a lot of times they'll take like a pickup truck or a car, they'll hook a section of chain link fence behind it and drive it behind to smooth out the field. Get all the shit off the field and smooth out the dirt.
Okay.
There's no access at Illahee Junior High, or there wasn't at the time, and it's surrounded by pine trees. So there's just pine needles falling on the field all the time. And I'm down on a ball, and it's what we would call in baseball a worm burner. And I've finally built up the confidence. I'm like, you got this, Casey. It gets like 3 or 4 feet away from me, hits a pine needle, pops up, hits me in the mouth so hard that the laces dug in on both sides of my lips. I had like the line of the laces. And like I had I tried to throw the guy out, missed him, and then they pulled me from the game, and because it was like I got hit hard enough that they were like, you might have a concussion. That was like, you got hit really hard.
Yeah.
And then I like lost confidence for the rest of my life fielding ground balls.
Yeah. my buddy. This was like before we were friends, but my buddy Tyler, in I think it was seventh grade, sixth or seventh grade, he played baseball and got nailed. Same thing, nailed in the eye, and had like the worst black eye I've ever seen. And I was convinced that that's not what actually happened. I thought his parents were beating him. So I like came home and told my mom about him being abused, and that ended up not being the case.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
My daughter, I took her out to play. I'm trying to let her. It's complicated to be a dad in 2025 because it's like if you have a daughter and you don't expose them to sports, it's because you're enforcing some gender role on them.
Right.
But if you get them too into sports, it's because you're sad you don't have a son. So it's like I'm like threading this needle. So I'm kind of, she likes some sports. She likes to play soccer. She's shown very little interest in baseball until recently. And then she's kind of gotten a little bit into watching baseball, not very into it. We talked about the Rainiers game last week. But then we went out into our yard with my brother-in-law and I, and she has like this little toy tee thing, and this kid starts ripping line drives and it's like, these are not a real bat, not real ball, not even a real tee-ball. It's like a fully fake thing, but I'm like, she's like not been interested in this, and also like even just trying to teach her the basic mechanics of a swing.
Yeah.
Have been very difficult. So I'm like, if she never plays tee-ball, I'm not gonna disown her. I'd love it if she played, if she got into it and tried it, but if she doesn't, that's fine. Then she starts doing this. I'm like, do you want to try this? So I bought, then I'm like, I'm buying everything. I bought fucking 12 balls. I bought her a tee. I bought her a real bat, a helmet, the whole thing. I spent like $100 on this kid after 12 seconds of her swinging at these. And so then we go to this park, and she's hitting balls, and it's going fine, whatever. And then she's like, I want to learn to play catch. And so I'm throwing. She's not really strong enough to open and close her glove very well. She's not super coordinated. All I'm trying to do is just like, do not fucking.
Are these with real baseballs?
They're not hard balls.
Okay.
Did you ever play t-ball?
No.
Okay.
No.
So they make these softer balls. They look like baseballs, but they're called. When I played, they were called. I never played t-ball. I was. I don't want to bring this up to my daughter either. I was very coordinated, so I just like went straight into live pitching. I never played t-ball, but they look like baseballs. They called them Incrediballs when I was that age. Now they're called like just T-balls. They're just like official league T-balls from Rawlings. Anyways, so we're throwing them, and like literally third throw hit her right in the nose.
Oh, man.
And it's like, it's soft, but it's like, it's shocking. And she starts sobbing, and I gotta like, she's pissed. She gets mad at herself for being bad at baseball, and mad at herself for disappointing me, even though I'm not disappointed, but she's got, whatever, she's projecting a bunch of shit that she's got going on, and so I'm like trying to, and I was like, did I just ruin baseball for her in all forms? Like, does the entire sport of baseball, and we got past that and hit some ball, but it was like, oh my God, I finally get a shared interest with this goddamn kid, and I ruined it in 3 throws.
Was there the talk about like getting back up on the horse?
Yeah, we do that, but then she will be like, but I'm so bad.
Oh,
it's not really like, there is like a fear element for sure, but she also goes like, I'm so bad, I should, I don't deserve to continue playing. Like,
damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
She gets very existential for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, we just finally watched Inside Out 2.
Okay, yeah.
For the first time the other day. What an important movie for kids. It like there was nothing. I don't remember anything like that when we were kids. That like really broke down the different emotions.
Well, definitely not exactly like that. So for the folks that don't know, Inside Out is like a movie where your emotion inside of this little girl, her emotions have been like anthropomorphized into characters, and then they live in her brain, and they're in this like constant struggle of memories and all kinds of. They have a lot of great jokes, by the way. I think it's on the second one, but it might be on the first one, where they're across the Sar chasm, and it's a big chasm in her, and like because her brain is like a world.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
these, so. Anyways, this I don't think there's been anything like that. Something that is like an allegory for kids' emotions, maybe, but I don't know about. Nothing that clever. I mean, it's so
Right.
cleverly made. I really.
Yeah. Really, I also like that they, because after the first one, I loved the first one so much. I was like, when are they going to do a second one? I liked that they spaced out the second one to match up with the age of like a lot of the kids that were seeing the first one.
Oh, sure.
They waited until those kids were like coming, like at least approaching the age of puberty to then see like all of these new things. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think you could really make one every year.
Oh, certainly not.
But are you looking for your water?
Yeah. Dry.
Yeah, you certainly could make one every year, but it's good. The point is this where we're getting at, that it's good? What would be another, like, I think that they definitely, the whole Pixar thing really opened up the world, I think, to, like these ideas that it would be hard to execute if it was even a cartoon, like just a straight up cartoon or a live action. Because I mean, like Toy Story has a lot of stuff that's kind of like, it's not quite as on the nose an allegory for, or not as on the nose like a representation of like human emotions. But it's like there's certainly some stuff in that there's like these animals are these toys are experiencing like human emotions and human interactions with each other.
I heard that the new Toy Story coming out, the bad guy is a tablet. I thought that was pretty good.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I have a joke written right now, or like a premise written down to work on about tablet kids. Can I tell you about, so it's I was talking about my kid. I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like a classic me making fun of you for not having parents, but I don't mean it like that.
Go on.
I would suspect that Father's Day has never meant much to you.
Oh, not at all.
And this is probably the last year of that. Outside of the fact that you guys are little bohemians that don't celebrate. You're like Jehovah's Bohemians that don't celebrate. Which, by the way, I had Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my house for the first time in years. I'm putting up a no soliciting sign. Fucking, it should be arriving within hours.
Oh, wow. You didn't like that? You didn't like the interaction?
No, I didn't even talk to him.
Oh,
but I'm like, my dog freaks out. I'm like
Uh-huh.
luckily I'm on the camera now. I'm like screening their calls, even though they're Jehovah's Witnesses. But like, yeah, just like, I don't want these people showing up to my house and trying to convert my religion.
I had a funny experience with Jehovah's Witnesses. So there was a kid I knew in high school, and we were pretty good buddies. And I had no idea. I don't know if I knew yet that he was a Jehovah's Witness, or at least his family was. But I got a knock on the door at where I was living at the time, an apartment. And I open up the door, and it's like him wearing a suit with his mom, and they're like, you know what I mean, going around and
he wasn't coming to see you in particular.
Tracks. No, he didn't know that's where I lived. It was just like he just happened to be in the area.
Was he embarrassed?
It looked like he was a bit embarrassed, yeah. But I was like, I don't think I was like, oh fuck, you know. I was pretty nice about it. But it was like we opened the door, and it was quite a surprise to see him there.
I'm an atheist. I've been an atheist for like a very long time. I've been an atheist since I was 7, which I've told to other atheists, and they're like, "That's dark. Like that's my computer. Don't worry. You're gonna be okay, Jess."
I'm worried.
I remember when I first became an atheist, I would like try to make almost a hobby out of arguing about religion with Christians.
At 7?
Not at 7, but I mean like in middle school and high school, right? Maybe, yeah. So 7, I became an atheist because we had a gay couple that my family was friends with, and well, when I found, I was like, they have to go to hell. Connie and Barb have to go to hell because of Christianity. That's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not a religion I want to believe in. And I also found out that people, if you don't practice Christianity, if you're religious, you believe in God, but it's not the same God, you also go to hell. That's the conceit of Christian heaven is not letting Buddhists in.
I see what you're saying.
So I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, had some small amount of critical thinking skills. And I don't know that I would have said I was an atheist, but I'm telling you, like, I remember not believing in God after that.
Gotcha.
I didn't have the terminology. I didn't know what an atheist, the term atheist, but I stopped believing in Christianity and God after that. That's all to say, I'm going to go back in a moment. I'm not like trying to convert anyone or unconvert anyone now. My life, I literally have 2 kids, a dog, a dead cat, and I have a picket fence in front of my house. Like, my life looks very Christian. So a wife also, which is important to that thing. I remember when I was in high school, I was this kid I went to school with named Austin. His family was Christian, and he and I would argue in class. And then one like Sunday morning, he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, tell me your address." And I started to say it, and I go, "Wait, why?" And he goes, "We're coming to your house to pick you up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "My family, we're going to church. We're going to pick you up, take you with us." So I go, "Fuck you. I'm not going with you." And he goes, "Dude, you're on speakerphone in my parents' car." And I'm like, I literally didn't feel bad for a moment. I go, "That's on you completely.
Yeah.
You know me. You should not have done that. Also, your parents can't take me to a place without talking to my parents."
Right.
One.
Yeah.
2,
What
I'm
a
not
crazy
going to
approach.
I know. And he thought he could just like strong arm me into going.
Yeah. I also I hate an unannounced speakerphone.
Well, and this was like, this is early days. This is
You're
like,
not suspecting.
yeah, this is like not even on Bluetooth. This is like 2001 or 2, something like that.
I can't stand it though when you're talking to somebody and then you find out much later in the conversation that you're on speakerphone. They're around other people.
Yeah.
There are people I know in my life that will like be with other people and like put you on speakerphone. You have no idea, and they start asking you questions, and
Sure.
you're answering not knowing that the other people involved in the question are around.
People are still doing this to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can think of one specific individual. I won't out them, but
right.
they know who they are. Yeah.
This is the thing that I feel like we curbed as a society. So I'm sorry to hear that you're still going through this.
Oh, yeah.
That's tough. I thought we were done with that. I agree with you completely.
I always announce. If I answer the phone in my car, I always announce.
And it always sounds, I will say, for the person sitting in your car, to me, I'm always worried that they're going to be like, typically they would talk shit about me, but I'm also like, we might, so like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like the etiquette on that, I feel like that being the etiquette and it being fully implemented into society happened very quickly. Like, I don't experience that. I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I'm just spouting off shit talk to everybody and nobody likes me. But
what the hell?
Anyway, what was I getting to? Oh, Father's Day. We have Father's Day.
Father's Day. Yep.
Your last Father's Day as not a dad.
I was told Happy Father's Day, but it was like for Mother's Day. I mean, we were like brand new pregnant, so it's like why don't we like hold off until the baby is.
I'm not surprised someone would tell you, but I think like the meaning.
Nobody was like giving me gifts. I wasn't given a card or you know what I mean, and I certainly wasn't like expecting that.
Sure.
But yeah, this is my last. I don't even know what you would refer to it as, but from now on I'll be included in.
You will be a father
Day.
on Father's
Day.
So it's funny. I don't know how much we've talked about on the podcast. My dad and I are not on speaking terms. Folks in my life are aware of this. The podcast, we've alluded to it. I think a couple
we've
different
touched
times.
on it. Yeah.
So I did. I had my birthday was on Wednesday. I had a very funny. I'm gonna just breeze through this thing real quick. At some time the week before last, I hit 10 years of comedy. I don't know the exact date, and I don't do. I think that the posts where people go like 10-year comedy anniversary, or when, by the way, and this is talking about a specific person, but it's not a specific person because this is the person I've seen do it most recently. But people who are like, this is my third year of comedy. I'd like to do a show on that day. Can someone book me? And it's like, Oh, nobody gives a shit. This is back
Yeah.
to the thing, like,
Yeah.
nobody's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about yourself, right?
Yeah, nobody's like, ooh, their third year's coming.
Oh, shit. Jess Everett's 19th year of comedy happened. We better get him on a show. But I know it's like the beginning of June, because I know I didn't want, when I started comedy, it to be, because I was 28 when I started, but I was like,
I was 28 when I started.
I was like
too.
barely still 28. I was almost 29. I wanted to do it
Gotcha.
before I turned 29, so it wasn't like a midlife crisis, got to do it before you're 30 thing.
Right,
Even though it's
right.
like a midlife crisis, got to do it before you're 28 or 29 thing, whatever.
Yeah.
It's for me that was important. So I know it was that week, but I don't know the exact day. And then I had like a pretty cool. We talked about it on this podcast. I'm supposed to open for Joe List. So excited. Literally hours after this happens, I get a text or an email that says, "Hey, sorry, Joe List's wife is opening for him. You're not on the show anymore," which is like, oh, well, that sucks. A typical thing they would do is go, you can host the show because you were the higher ranked or whatever comedian.
Yes.
But the guy that they had hosting had come from out of town. It was a whole complicated thing. And then they were like, well, are you going to go see a show? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel kind of awkward because some extenuating circumstances around it. Like, I feel kind of awkward just like going and watching a show. And they were like, well, what we could do is you could host the late show, but we still got to pay the other host. So he would just get paid the amount. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Because I hadn't been up for a little bit. And I was like, I'm trying to this summer give my family some time. It's my daughter's first. And maybe I'll be like light all summers, but I want to give them I want to see what having a light summer schedule's like with kids and my family and all that. So, but I was like, man, I'm going to open for my favorite comedian. Then I'm headlining the Gig Harbor show, which had already been canceled by the time So it was like this my entry into the first week of it was get canceled on a show with your favorite comedian, cancel your headlining gig. By the way, I had these dreams of like, because where he's staying, his friend lives out in Gig Harbor that he stays with. So it was like, I'll be like, hey man, you pop in, you could come do a spot on this. And
you're right.
I'm imagining this is like because I've worked with Joe List a lot and we know each other, and I think he likes me, and he always he remembers things about me. It's not like, but it's not like we're buddies, right? And I'm like, this is gonna fucking long. You get these delusions of grandeur, and then it's like canceled off the show. The other show's canceled. Fucking, you lost $75 in ads on that show, and it was just like a brutal entry into. And then we had a moment. I went to. I'm gonna just breeze through the birthday before we get to Father's Day. Had a birthday get together with just like close family and my friends that are not you. It was just family. It was just my which is this is like when you get older, this is how it is. My wife, my kids, my in-laws, my mom, and my sister. That's it. I get no, I forgot that I had my dad on Do Not Disturb. I have like the muted notifications. I don't get any notifications.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been necessary for a little while. But it had been like, well, he had sent me a text kind of quasi accidentally, and besides that, we hadn't had a text or an interaction of any kind since April of 2024. So it was like over, it was whatever, fucking 14 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And I get a thing that says "Happy Birthday, son," period. Which is like, it's so fucking dramatic, dude. Just call me, you fucking pussy. But
yeah.
And by the way, he might listen to this because he used to occasionally come across stuff of mine on YouTube. But yeah, man, it's like, so we the thing I wanted to talk about at the birthday thing though is I take my daughter to the bathroom. We're all drinking, eating pizza. We went to Beer Star in Tacoma. Brought Camp Colvo's Pizza, which is my favorite pizza in Tacoma. Brought that in with us. Having a great time. People I love. Drinking great beer. My wife actually took me. We went and had a drink before that was like, had this really special bourbon. Great day. And then I take my daughter to the bathroom because she's got to go to the bathroom. I come out. My sister I was wearing this Ken Griffey Jr. hat, and her husband was wearing a similar. It was like in the same. What, you look right up at Griffey? Yeah. I was wearing that. Or he was wearing like the inverse colorway of it, and so was my nephew. So she wanted a picture of all three of us in these hats, right?
Yeah.
So she takes the picture. This becomes an opportunity for all the boomers to come over with their cameras. And there's a boomer thing that I don't know if you've seen this happen before, because I don't know how often you're around multiple boomers with cameras.
Uh-huh.
But my mom, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law all separately pull out their phones at the same time and start trying to get everyone's attention for a picture at the not taking turns. Not I'm not saying this interaction took too long. Although we do have a fucking 23-month-old child who has a limited bandwidth for this kind of shit. But I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is three people who all have each other's phone numbers, two of which live in the same home together as a married couple, are all like, no, look at my picture, look at my camera, all at the same time. Well, it's like just one person.
Just use the best
And
phone.
they all got like the 19 generations of iPhone ago. Like, just use my wife's phone. Use my wife's phone. Take it with that. Send it to everybody. Incredible. And it's, listen, I made a little bit of a stink about it. I was a little bit of a diva bitch about it. My wife pointed this out to me later, that I was like, one picture. I was like, one camera. Every picture, one. I was like, being very forceful about it.
Yeah.
And to me, the reason is also
it's my
like
birthday.
One, it's my birthday, but also, and then I feel a little bit bad because my mom. There's pictures of everybody. I didn't get a single picture with my mom. I got pictures with literally every single other person, but my mom, who I was the first one I yelled at. I didn't get a single picture with her, which I do feel bad about. But it's. If there's three cameras, we're all looking at different cameras.
Yep,
it makes the picture worse.
Oh yeah.
It makes the experience worse.
Oh yeah.
And everybody feels like, oh, I gotta share the goddamn photo. That's why if I become famous ever, one of the first orders of business, I don't know how we're gonna execute it. One of the first orders of business is hire a photographer to be at the meet and greet. Take the picture. We're not fumbling with anyone's phones. We're not fucking with any of that. No selfies. No nothing. I'm on Pauly Shore protocol. He has like he's got seats set up. You sit there like he's a Western at and he stands behind you. The picture gets taken quickly. They moves them out. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
So anyway, Father's Day, I spent time with my father-in-law, and it was great. We golfed. And it's fun. It is funny how like the older you get, these people start. Everyone's getting older, and she starts to know all these old people dying. And he starts talking about how he's like, your mom. I tell you what, like this is my father-in-law. Not talking about he's got a wife. And I'm not saying he's going to say anything explicit about my mom, but you would expect what he would say. You would expect for a spouse to maybe say about. Like their spouse. She's like, she holds the whole thing together. Like you guys,
gotcha.
She's like, it's so amazing. Like how much, like I'm so impressed with her and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, about to, it's Father's Day. We're drunk. I've cleared that my wife was driving home, and I was like, all right, we're drinking. We're cracking bourbon.
Yep.
And we were like, a couple bourbons and several beers in, and I'm like about to cry because my father-in-law, it's just like, you think that Father's Day is lame before you become a dad. And maybe even in the early years of being, and then you're like, oh god, I'm just like sucked into the same Americana bullshit that everybody is.
Yeah, it feels.
And I also got I did get a Happy Father's Day, son text, which felt somewhat passive aggressive because I was not going to send him a Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. We
and then I didn't see it, so I sent a thing the next day.
Gotcha. We had a good Father's Day the night before. So what would that be? Saturday night. My youngest niece graduated high school, and so we met. It was like my two nieces, my oldest niece's boyfriend, my sister, and then my wife and I. We all met out at the Ram. to have
Tacoma?
food. Yeah,
Nice.
The which I hadn't been to the Ram in a long time. They've kind of like updated some things.
Sure.
Not bad. Not bad.
I used to go to the Ram in Kent, at Kent Station.
Oh,
My friend and I, we would go have our like sobriety. We would go drink 2 tall glasses of the mugs
Yep.
of the Total Disorder Porter. A girl that we went to high school with was a bartender out there, so we'd always get like crazy good deals. Also, that I found out at some point that lady, she doesn't listen, but the only nude I've ever gotten was from that lady because I found out she had a crush on me in high school. Then we started texting, and it got like,
wow.
we never dated or anything, but that's the only nude I ever got was from her. But we would have 2 big ass Total Disorder Porters.
Yeah.
Go watch a movie, come back, have one more drink, and drive home and feel like got a nice little buzz before the movie, and we're still sober enough to go home. And
Nice.
And she would make it basically free to do, so that was great.
Nice. And with the nudes.
Nudes.
What a gal.
This was long before my wife, obviously.
Well, I should hope so. But so we all met out there, and my nieces, so obviously the youngest just graduated from high school.
Obviously.
She's like 18. My oldest niece is in her 20s. Funny gals.
Wow.
My family's also funny. It was I don't see them often, but just hanging around them, it was so much fun. They're golly, wow, funny.
Can we get them on the podcast? Can I
gals.
replace?
If we could have my oldest niece on the pod, that would be very fun.
How old is she?
So funny. Like 23, I think.
Do you think she's got Uncle Jess memories that would be funny for the podcast?
I wasn't around.
So maybe what are we doing with it? What are we doing with this broad on the podcast?
She's just fun. It's fun now that she's an adult to hang out with
is
her.
that the 23-year-old? Is she the one that was at the comedy show?
Yeah.
That was funny.
And her boyfriend's really cool. They're really good together, but they're just both like fun hangs. So we did that the night before. Also, Ram, busy as shit. Everybody's graduating. Everybody wants to go to the Ram for graduation.
Interesting.
It was very funny though, because the bar wide open. Because it's all, you know what I mean. It's all kids.
Is it just? It wasn't families. It was
like multiple schools of families taking their kid out for their because it was like graduation day or whatever. So we were there. We got there early, and then they got there late because the graduation was on the fairgrounds.
Gotcha.
So it took and then like Meeker Days was ending the same day, so just like getting out of there took forever. So we ended up
Meeker
spending
Days is in Puyallup.
Thereabouts.
Okay.
I believe.
I don't know. I don't.
I think the Meeker
Meeker's
Mansion
goddamn
is
everywhere.
Yeah. But
whoever this Meeker person was, I'm sick of them.
They were Meekers were not sneakers. That wasn't good. Jess Everett on all.
Don't plug yourself.
Now
you know where to go to unfollow. Make sure you're not following Jess. Go unfollow him at all those spots.
No, but we did that, and that was a fun time. And then the next day, Father's Day, we went to Katie's Downs. For a nice 11 a.m. pizza. Who doesn't like an 11 a.m. pizza?
Especially one of the worst pizzas in Tacoma.
Dude, it is.
If you could pair the bad time of day with a really horrifically bad pizza.
In-laws, I love them, but golly, they're early risers. They want to do everything early. If they say we're meeting at noon, they're there at like 10. But
they're tailgating.
We could have walked from the Ram the night before, gotten to Katie Downs, and they'd be like, "We've been waiting for you." But so we had a nice fucking 11 a.m. pizza at Katie Downs.
I mean, it's a beautiful waterfront restaurant with just the worst food in the world.
Anything else in that room, and it would be better.
We're just trashing Tacoma restaurants every.
There's so many good ones. Who cares about the shitty ones? Other than they're fun to talk about, but. we all met. It was
Support
like
Waffle Stop. It's great.
they suck. You suck.
I love you. Please
but,
sponsor me only.
So it was like my mother and father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and then my two. What are grandparents-in-law? Is that the thing? Grandparents-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were there, and we all ate. But my father-in-law, big into bikes, big time bike guy. Several bikes
with a K, not a T.
Yeah,
they're big into bites. This guy loves to take bites.
No, he does take some big bites.
Okay, all right.
He can put some food
All right,
away.
Glenn.
But Glenn. No, he got like way into bikes.
Minecraft and bikes, this guy.
Yeah. He's and like he makes his own kombucha. He's pickling now. He's a jack of all trades.
He's a Renaissance man of autism.
But he big time bike guy. He does like he's also
I
he
can't
runs
stop
like
hearing bites.
He runs like marathons and then like bigger than marathons.
Super
like
marathons.
50Ks, like endurance races. He does like long bike ride like races and stuff.
Yeah.
But so big into bikes, owns like 1,000 bikes now, just all the time bikes.
I said Renaissance man of autism joking, but it's feeling less and less like a joke.
Yeah, it's
as the time rolls on. I know he listens, so I don't want to trash the man. But Glenn, you gotta fucking get rid of some of these bikes.
No, get more bikes. Actually, get
Can
several
I have a
more
bike?
bikes. But we showed up to the restaurant and he's like, we got something. He's all excited. And we go over to the car. They got a bicycle helmet for my unborn daughter. They got the smallest one. And even like he was saying, like they're at the bike shop. They're like, we need a helmet. And he's like, well, how old's the kid? And they're like, not born yet. They're like, okay. So they got the smallest helmet they make. I think it starts at like 9 months old.
They have a premature helmet.
Yeah, it's in the womb. It's just a big helmet that goes over my wife's belly. But they got a helmet for her and sunglasses, and then he's getting what is called a cargo bike, and that's where like the front of the bike you can put like it's like the ice cream bikes or like a little hot dog stand you can set on this platform that's at the front of the bike.
Okay.
He's getting to ride our daughter.
This might be an obscurity of bikes that I'm not aware of with my...
I'm sure you've
my
seen
place
that.
on the
If I
spectrum has
showed
not
you
allowed me to
a
encounter
picture
this.
of them. They're like the ships
How
coming
stoked
in.
is he going to be that I just keep calling him autistic over and over again?
He'll think it's funny. He's
All
funny.
right, good.
He's got a good sense of
Good
humor.
job, Glenn.
But yeah, so he's like showing me all these bikes with like the big canopy thing. So I'm just picturing like my baby that can't even speak yet, just in the front of a bike going around for bike rides. So I'm excited for that.
That's cool. That's a nice, thoughtful gift.
He's gonna be a really good grandpa.
I actually think, by the way, this is so my sister bought me a great bottle of whiskey for my birthday, but she one time, I believe this to be true.
Okay.
I do declare a great gift is there's two options. One is if you're good gifts are good gifts, but to really knock it out of the park.
Yes.
Two things you can do. One is you buy someone something they would not. Nudes are good. Not I would call them good.
Depends on who they're coming from, I suppose.
Fair, yeah. Buy someone something they would want but would not buy for themselves.
Yes.
That's like A++ S tier gift.
Yep.
I think the next best thing is to buy someone something that you are an expert in and that they would not buy for themselves. That being like a 9-month-old bike helmet might be one of those things.
Okay.
A good example is like my sister bought me a great bottle of whiskey this year for my birthday. But one year she bought me, she's super into tequila. She bought me a great bottle of tequila, and I was like, do that, because like I don't know shit about tequila. I know
Gotcha.
I've got a billion. You're gonna like if you buy someone. I mean, what are like a thing that you're super into? I'm bound to buy you something that's a pile of shit if I try to buy you that thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You try to buy like me beer. People will be like, he likes beer, and then they buy me like a 12-pack of Elysian Space Dust IPA, and I'm like, I'll piss on that box. Like I would never. I'm not even going to open it. I'm going to give it away to Jess Everett. I'm going to give it away to you. You were my like. There was a stretch, by the way, because my wife and I buy a lot of craft beer. Remember, I've given you a couple boxes, like large boxes of craft beer.
Yes.
You were the, I believe, third person who quit drinking after I and you've since started drinking again, but I gave you those. You were the fastest, by the way.
I couldn't trust myself around them.
I gave you like 25 16-ounce cans of beer. You went home. You quit drinking like the next day.
Yeah, because it was right before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And on the 4th of July, I'm like, God bless America. I got up, just started I was like stuffing them in the
pizza
fridge.
time.
Like, I'm going to drink this. I'm going to drink. Yeah, it was like.
Started drinking beers at pizza time.
I had to get ready for my 11 a.m. pizza.
That is a good argument for the 11 a.m. pizza.
Yeah. No, that was it was too much. I gotta get this. You ever hear? Tell me you haven't heard at a party, especially a party with like family members. Get these chips away from me. You ever hear that one?
Oh sure. I mean, maybe not chips in particular, but yes.
Right. Yeah. It's usually an ant.
Sure.
It's usually the single ant.
I mean, I have exclusively uncles, but sure. I'm
Gotcha.
aware of the concept.
Gotcha. Behind closed
Oh,
doors,
my bad.
we'll see how many uncles you have.
That's true. Well, they're all dead now, so.
Ooh.
Actually, I have one. The black uncle's still alive.
The forever
shares a
closed door.
birthday with me. Texted him, got a nice happy birthday and a bunch of weird emojis because he's also a boomer. But it was like a peace sign and I don't know, like a salsa dancer or something like that. I don't know, whatever these were not the mainstream emojis. We were deep. We were on page 4 of the emoji keyboard, and I don't know why, but he gave me some emojis and a happy birthday to you too.
That is
Uncle Landy,
good.
shout out, and
That's good.
other than that, all dead. All the uncles are dead. So they're not wearing dresses behind closed doors like you'd like them to be.
What if they're buried in a dress?
That would be nice.
Dress
I
forever.
think maybe all cremated, but could have been cremated in dresses. We don't know. We don't know. There could be satin and lace in those
Just
urns.
melted sequin all in the ashes.
But yeah, so I'm assuming this is what you're equating this back to the beer. You had to get this beer away from you.
Yes.
Get these chips away from me. Yeah.
Yes. What I can't remember what brought us to that point though.
We were talking about your father-in-law, and I was talking about my sister bought me tequila.
Oh, good gifts.
Good gifts.
Good gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. We speaking of good gifts, my wife has the book, I think it's called like the Flavor Bible or something.
Okay.
And it's just like a book. It's got all of the spices you could think of and tells you like what spices go with each
Sure.
other, and like it's like an alchemist book or something for
Yeah.
for your tongue, for your mouth.
Well, I didn't like that at all. I don't know why.
I knew you would.
You said it like knowing that the way you were going to say it was going to make me unhappy.
Yeah.
And then really accentuated it.
Yeah, we got a lot in common and some things that are way the opposite of in common. They are in at
What?
they are in
I don't know if
at odds.
Are you experiencing some sort of mental breakdown right now?
Yeah, usually. But my youngest niece, my family, not cooks.
Okay.
None of them can cook, and like they'll most of them will tell you they can't cook. But my youngest niece, for whatever reason, probably because there was no good food ever being made around her, she's like, I got to figure out how to cook. Big time cooker, big chef. But I think she's actually going to school for some sort of food something. But big into cooking, so my wife got her that book. And it was one of those gifts that's like, I love a thoughtful gift.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of just getting a gift out of obligation.
Sure.
Because you can feel it. You're like, oh, this was just the amount of money you thought was appropriate to spend.
Or a gift that is there to intentionally fill out the volume of the bag.
Yes.
That is a bothersome thing to me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But I was excited about this gift. My wife was very excited about the gift because she loves the book, and this is like a book that can really like level you up as a cook. And boy, watching my niece open that book, face lit up.
This is another thing that as you get older you understand significantly more, and I think you'll agree with this.
We'll see.
Significantly more enjoyable when you know you've crushed it,
Yeah.
to watch someone open a gift
Yes.
and to receive a gift that you love.
Oh, absolutely.
Even to a gift that you love. Because when someone nails it for you, you're like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I gave you some thoughtless bullshit. And
I've always been bad at like receiving. I hated on Christmas. I would always like, cause my family, when I was very young, like my brother and sister would spend the night and then we'd like wake up and do Christmas. They were much older, so they did not live with us, but, we would always, I'd like want everybody to open gifts at the same time because I hated being like on the spot opening presents because my reactions were, even if it was like the best thing I've ever seen in my life, my reaction was just like mediocre at best. I have a very difficult time being fake. So even if I'm very excited, I'm not typically one to like, about things. And I couldn't just turn that on. It felt disingenuous to turn that on.
My sister did a thing that I gave her a lot of shit about, but I think you're going to relate to this quite a bit. She, baby shower, refused to open gifts in front of anybody. And
did she go into another room or make everybody leave or wait
till everyone left.
They were gone? So nobody got to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing.
That's a thing I would never do, but I kind of I can at least I can relate to that feeling of wanting to do that.
So I gave her shit because, and this is so to start with, fully identify with the sentiment behind it. Like, I hate I'm a bad gift receiver. I never feel like I'm giving enough. And then I also quite often, it's someone gets you something and you're like, it's like another thing I don't need. I don't know. Like it's fine, but I'm like not super stoked about it. I don't need much. I can afford to buy myself everything I want, and I do.
Yeah.
And I do. So I what I really want, and this is why like my birthday I really loved it, was I want to spend time with the people that I love. Time is so much more valuable to me than trinkets and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And while I can identify with my sister's, the plight of my sister,
yes,
I did say to her in that moment, and I've said to her a couple times in her life, the gift isn't just for you.
Right.
It's also for the person who's giving it to you.
Yeah.
And it's not a financial transaction, it's an emotional transaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, what a thing to end it on, but I got nothing left. You fucking haven't had anything for 10 minutes, but we kept talking.
I had plenty. You just kept talking. I'm opening for Sarah Colonna at the Emerald City Comedy Club this weekend. Excited for that. The following weekend, I'll be opening for... Yeah, I'm excited to meet her. And then I'll be opening for Jeremiah Watkins at the 6th Ave Club. Still have not received my shirts to sell, so I'll be
exciting for everyone.
Missing out on a lot of money there, but...
I left... You gotta I'll put it in my notes right now. I left the one of the more cool things... I could have said it.
Ooh.
It's too late now. We don't have time, folks.
What are we at?
We're at 57 minutes, and we got to get over and see.
It's going to take you longer than 3 minutes to probably. It probably.
What do we
will.
do? 4 fucking the whole things, 4 topics in the whole goddamn podcast, and it's bigger than that, folks. It's bigger. So okay.
All right.
Next week we'll big spoiler for big cliffhanger. Yeah, big whatever cliffhanger's the right word.
Please come back.
Casey McLean Comedy. Come see me. I'll be. I'm headlining Tacoma Comedy Club this Sunday. If you're listening to this the day it came out, I am June 22nd headlining, and we have some great openers. And believe it or not, tickets aren't flying off the shelves. So come on out, to that, please. If you've seen my special for some reason, completely new material. I won't do a single joke from the special, so come on out for that. Thank you for listening to this, and Casey McLean Comedy everywhere. All right, that's it.
All right, bye, everybody.